Thank you for listening to another episode of One Voice Mini Stories. I'm your host. It wasn't a stir, it was a presence pressing him again. It was quieter than that, a shift in the air, a subtle tightening of the space, like the darkness just had realized he was standing in it. He didn't move. He let the silence around him wait to see if it would break on his own. It didn't. The room held his breath, and the longer he stood there, the more he felt the weight of something measuring him. He clicked a recorder. New chamber. No visible source of movement, but something is aware of me. His voice sounded different in this room. Not echoed, not absorbed, just flat. Like the space didn't want to carry his words any farther than necessary. He lowered the recorder and took a single step forward. The floor responded, not with a vibration, not with a shift, but with a faint delayed warmth that rose through the sole of his boots. It wasn't natural, it was environmental. It felt like acknowledgement. He took another step. The warmth followed. He stopped. The warmth stopped. He exhaled slowly. "All right," he whispered. The darkness answered. A soft, low renaissance rolled through the chamber. Not a hum, not a growl, something in between. A sound that didn't come from a direction. It came from everywhere at once, like the room was speaking in a language built for pressure instead of words. Ellis didn't back up. He didn't raise the recorder. He just listened. The renaissance faded, then the room shifted. Not physically, but visibly. But the air changed shapes around him, like a space rearranging itself without moving the walls. The darkness thickened in front of him, forming a subtle gradient, not a figure, not a shadow, just a density. He stepped toward it. The density retreated. He stepped again. It retreated again, but slower this time, like it was letting him close the distance on its turn. He clicked a recorder. Something is responding to proximity. Not hostile, not welcoming, just adjusted. He lowered it and kept moving. The chamber widened as he walked through the walls, never shifted. It felt like the space was stretching itself to accommodate him, expanding without physical expanding. The floor stayed level, the air stayed cold, but the room grew. He reached the center without realizing it. The density stopped retreating. It held its position, suspended in the darkness like a thought the building hadn't finished forming. Ellis stopped too. The air around him tightened, not painfully, just enough to let him know he was exactly where the structure wanted him. He raised the recorder. Central point, something is waiting. Before he can lower it, the floor beneath him paused. A single deep thud that traveled upward through his legs and into his chest. It wasn't violent, it was alarming. It felt like a heartbeat. Not his. The density in front of him flickered. Not light, not movement, a shift in presence. Like something stepped closer without taking a step. Ellis steadied his breathing. "Show me," he said quietly. The chamber obeyed. A faint glow emerged from the floor. Not bright, not warm, just enough to outline the shape of the space around him. The walls were farther away than he thought. The ceiling was higher. The room was larger than any blueprint would allow. The glow spread outward in a slow ripple, revealing the floor surface. Smooth, seamless, and marked with faint circular impressions. Like something had pressed into it repeatedly over time. The density in front of him sharpened, not into a figure, not into a shape, into intentions. He felt it more than he saw it. A pull, a focus, a narrowing of attention that settled directly on him. He clicked a recorder again. Contact, not physical, not visible, but direct. The glow dimmed. The density leaned closer. Ellis didn't step back. He let it approach. The air around his face cooled sharply, like something was inches from him, studying the outline of his breath. His skin prickled, his pulse slowed. The room felt like it was sinking with him again, but deeper this time, more precise. Then the density spoke, not in words, not in sound, in pressure. A single concentrated push against his chest, gentle, deliberate, unmistakable. Ellis inhaled sharply. The pressure withdrew. The glow faded completely. The chamber returned to darkness, but the pressure didn't leave. It stayed with him close enough to feel far enough to remain undefined. Ellis raised the recorder one last time. I'm not alone in here, he lowered it. The darkness answered like a slow, steady pulse that rolled through the floor like a signal. And Ellis understood. The building wasn't showing him something. It was choosing him. Thank you for listening to another episode of One Voice Mini Stories.